He's won 2 of them.
Yep. So
Again, the issue is right here, right now. Are you going to keep blowing winning positions, or are you going to come back, Magnus? Are you going to show that you're on the board with Nakamura and Bullet?
Right now, it's looked all Naka in the Bullet portion. Exactly what most people predicted, that Magnus would be ahead after the 5 and 2. 5 and 3 minute portions, but here in the Bullet, this is Hikaru's domain. He's shown his might, but he needs to get those full points because he's down by 4. He could be down by 2.
One funny thing is to look at their ratings. Both of these guys much higher rated than anybody else in Bullet, 3,200, 3,100. But in a rare opportunity, Hikaru Nakamura actually has some chances to gain Bullet rating points in one of these matches, because usually Hikaru has 0 chances, and right now he's doing the Hikaru bed bob. That's love potion number 9 for Hikaru right there. He's kind of doing, but what's happening?
Knight's got Queen C4 is a problem, so Knight.
Yeah, but he's just going to, Knight takes a 4, you gobble? No, you build.
Yep.
But Hikaru is in trouble here. I like Bishop E3. I actually don't think Hikaru.
So Knight takes F4, is that a possibility? I was trying to work out the tactics. Yeah, Knight takes F4 was a possibility. In fact, there's a great tactical sequence there that is very difficult to explain in very little time.
But that would have been interesting, yeah, if he had taken the point everybody. It just undermines the protection of the Knight there.
Well, it looked like you would lose. It's too difficult to explain.
Too much. But okay, so we stay in the moment.
I like.
Carlsen is up a pawn right now.
But the E4 pawn.
Yeah, but Knight C4, you can't take it because I go to Forktown.
Then
or
I take
you
on
can.
E3.
Ooh, you can.
But you can go Bishop C5 perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Bishop to C5.
And then where does my queen go?
Just to E6.
So then you Rook D6.
Bishop C5, Rook D6, Queen C8, and even when you move the Knight, all your pieces are sort of, oddly overextended, and Nakamura is kind of agreeing with that.
So that move, interesting, because now, if Queen E4, G4 is also an idea. The Knight is trapped on H5.
And that may still be something we see. Here it comes.
But watch out for, I was going to say Bishop F8, but doesn't.
So many tactics, not enough time. These two guys are it's just Bishop to F8 is an idea.
But then you take on F8 with a Knight, right? There's a problem. Or even G takes H5, F6 to hang with check. All sorts of things.
Hikaru's a little frustrated here, you can see. But that's an interesting idea to try to get out of it. Not quite enough.
He
wow,
that was a pain in the face.
And Hikaru recognizes that he miscalculated, but he doesn't give up. No, he does give up.
Yeah.
And just like that, Magnus strikes back, right? And we have Magnus striking back. It is still 2-2 in the Bullet portion. Nakamura not making enough headway with 17 minutes left in the total game clock. Nakamura is still down by 5 games. So mathematically, he's up against the wall right now.
Yes, he absolutely is. He needs to win this one, that's for sure. But he needs to win 2 in a row. That's the start. You can't. The problem is psychologically.
You can't keep trading blows at this point.
Absolutely not. But psychologically, it's like, I need to win every single game. No. You need to win 2. That's what my number would be. 2 games. Once I'm back in it, then you can make progress from there. But you can't think I need to win 5 games in a row because that causes you to.
Well, I think it's caused him to lose focus when he's trying to convert on games at different points in this match. He's blundered away his chances, and Carlsen has been right there to accept those gifts and laid the traps. Again, that's what Carlsen does more than anybody, is create opportunities for his opponents to go wrong. People say they go wrong, but he's defending so resourcefully, playing such accurate chess like a computer.
Yeah.
And you give your opponent opportunities to blunder.
Absolutely. And right now, it looks very interesting. Hikaru trying to get that knight off the board, and so now they both have the 2 rooks Hikaru's trying to push his pawns, Magnus trying to stop him. H5 is a risky move. I don't really like that at all, because that's going to become a vulnerability. And now, D5, once that pawn is committed to H5.
And if this queen gets in,
right now, Queen E5.
Yeah, here she comes.
Yeah, that was a weird decision. I don't quite comprehend it at all. Now Knight F5 in some variations.
Ooh, that's a nice threat I didn't even consider.
Now H5 is just hanging. It's a free pawn. Knight G4.
Yeah, I think Magnus is a little bit unhappy with his decision to go for that idea as well. But it's still.
I mean, there's so many options here.
F3 might even be It's
Rook C2. That's smart. You don't.
As long as there's no tactics. Looks like there are no tactics.
Knight G4 that picks up the knight.
Knight G4 picks up the knight for free.
Yep. So Knight G4 game over.
Full for it.
Knight G4, yep.
And Hikaru takes the time to consider it.
Queen F5, only move.
Okay, so
Queen F5, I take, you take, I take, I get another pawn in the ending. It's
right.
Just...
And that'll be what we see is Zwischenzug. Ja, Gunsa. that was a Zwischenzug. In the between move, everybody, for who doesn't speak German accent. That was a
Wait, why would he move his king that way? That seems like the wrong way to go. But okay, you take on d5, you take twice, a4, rook d4, you hit the a pawn, a and h pawn.
No, you got to play rook b3 here, but
rook b3 is smart.
And then you should be able to work that king in.
Yep. And
No,
you just push the
no
pawns.
diggity.
Yeah. No, it's over.
You like the way I work it.
I keep saying it's over, and then it's not over because that's how amazing Magnus is in
Magnus's
defense.
is Magnus Carlsen worthy.
But okay, a really great.
Magnus is almost playing as well as Magnus in this match.
All
All right, so he's got a trick, rook d4. That's his idea. So,
sure,
but Hikaru says, no, thank you.
yeah.
Time to push and go get a queen.
Yeah, and this is not an A pawn. A pawns are trickier because it's sometimes hard to work with. But now it's a B pawn, which means there's never going to be any drawing chance. And again, a bad strategy by Magnus to resign because there are 14 critical seconds.
He's focused on the fact that he's just playing chess right now. But from a match strategy perspective, he maybe could have milked another minute.
Yeah, I think he's being respectful, which is nice to see. When you play like this, you don't want to be disrespectful to your opponent and waste the time. But this is a critical match situation. Just under 14 minutes left.
Right.
Hikaru Nakamura down 4 games, and I hate these openings for black. So I would not be surprised if Magnus pulls this one out.
Hikaru needs to give up the Alekhine like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You can't play bullet openings against Magnus in bullet. I think he just has too much of a zoned in focus where he gets the right theoretical edge.
Yeah, it's not even just it's not bullet 1-0 straight where Nakamura is an absolute animal. This is 1-0, 1-1. There's a 1 second increment after every move, which means that even if you're up on time and your opponent's in trouble, they can actually accumulate some time back in the clock. And now b5 followed by c6 for white is just going to be really devastating for black to deal with. There's no attack. You don't have any g5, g4 stuff.
As you said, this is the problem. If you don't win 2 in a row, you don't come back in the match, and he's running out of opportunities. Whoa, look at Magnus just. The pawns are out of control.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
I love it.
If I go b takes c6.
I got knight b5 coming in.
If I go b takes c6, what exactly happens?
b7.
Whoa.
The knight's coming in.
What is going on?
Like Flynn.
Okay.
And I'm maybe being a little too trusting.
But look at this attack. White is moving all of the pieces away from the king side. Look at, like I said, an attack might find its way here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like
the queen is in perfect defensive position.
I don't know. I don't like that move. Pawn d6. What if I take it? Oh, knight d6 hits f7. Wait, but then bishop e6. I don't know. There's a lot of pins going on. I'm getting a little confused.
Knight takes, bishop e6, blocks the queen's diagonal.
Oh, but there was knight takes f7. What a tactic.
With a tempo on the queen.
I think.
Holy smokes. I don't know. I'm just going to take your word for it and try to keep up. Right now, Magnus is up on time a little bit. He's sort of recovered from being down on time, and I think he's just going to take this one.
Yeah, what is going on here?
That just looks like a lot of pieces and not enough time if you're Nakamura.
Rook c5, just take that bishop off, game over. Okay, or queen e3 is obviously good enough.
Both work.
This is game over. a4, just push that pawn, it's over.
Where's the knight coming to?
Up, and now you trade queens by force, and resign. There's no actually good reason to play. You're hurting your chances.
Nakamura needs to just resign and move on.
No, he's hurting his chances here, and he's back to a 5-game lead.
Yep. You only have 11 minutes left. I think that he's running. I think we can almost call the match at this point. Not to say Nakamura won't get on a run and win some games, but mathematically, Magnus Carlsen, he's running out of time to lose.
Yes,
he can't lose the match if there's no time left in the total clock.
With over 11 minutes left and 5-game deficit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what was that opening choice? A ridiculously bad choice.
No, a terrible choice by Hikaru. Needs to stick with openings like this. He needs to stick with theory that works for him to outplay the world champion. But you can't. It's hard when you're so used to him bullet. He can play that against anybody else in the world and probably find a way.
Absolutely.
But not against Magnus.
No, against Magnus, you cannot just fool around it because as we saw, and b4 to b5 to c6, like all these pawns just broke free so easily. And you're not going to play like that against him in a real game, obviously, and I understand it's bullet, but it's just so easy for Magnus to play. Here, this is a better decision for sure. Keep the tension alive, 8 pawns each. You can outplay him, but again, outplaying him is actually not exactly a great thing. You just want to crush him because of the time situation.
Right. And Magnus is happy with this. Is going to become a little bit of a positional affair here if White doesn't launch something on the king side, which is going to allow a lot of time to come off the game clock. And
so already you can win a pawn. You could have if you take with the f pawn and take on d6 pawn was weak. But here you're just aiming for f4.
Right. Well, White's a little better here for sure, right?
Well, now there's a big problem.
d6?
Yeah, d6 is just hanging.
Pick up sticks, stakes.
Yeah, you get some weak pawns, which is annoying to deal with.
But the d file is okay. He says I'm not even going to allow this opportunity. We're going to gobble up.
Yep. No, it's
and
smart,
see what
right?
happens,
Because you
right.
take the pawn without compromising your pawn structure at all.
Right.
But that knight.
Very nice move.
Beautiful.
Yep. So he's forcing the d file to stay open by attacking the knight with the knight, and now this is a game only white can win.
Well,
we've said that before.
Yep.
But this is just a complete bind on the d file. White has complete control and is up a pawn. But how much time, right? How much time is going to come off the clock? We're up against it, right? You're in a situation where you must win every game and do so quickly.
Yep.
That's a nice move. He was baiting white into taking the h-pawn, Magnus was, so that he could get the a2 pawn with the bishop.
Absolutely. So here, queen d2 might be an option just to get the... okay, but you want to keep the queens on the board.
So he's going to try to remaneuver that knight to a more opportune square.
Coming to f3.
Knight comes into f3, and then?
It hangs out for a while.
Okay. I think rook d2, I was going to say rook d2 at some point just to take care of the problem so you're not worried about this anymore.
Yeah.
But...
well, now h4 is hanging, right? So e5 and h4, so you're
right,
losing
so,
a pawn.
Carlsen's definitely losing here, but this is just, we're in a situation where the match is, it's almost callable because of the total time left, and that's part of it. You're running up against the clock.
So trade all the rooks, knight c2, knight takes a3.
Right. He sees exactly that, and it should be over. That bishop needs to be here to be trapping that knight, but he's not.
And even if it's there, it's still bad
Probably
because
still,
the king runs in. And look at the h-pawn go now.
Right. Well, okay, so this is a game that is going to be won by white, but will Nakamura be able to win 2 in a row and pull off the unbelievable, we're running out of time where we can even say that.
And that bishop looks like it's in some trouble over there.
Maybe getting trapped.
Probably not, but still. King c3. Okay, king d3, same idea.
Trying to bring the knight back into a square that helps something. Yeah, he's going to go after the... I thought he was going to go after the pawns over here.
Knight d6.
Magnus, just creating opportunities for his opponents to go wrong.
What?
Have I said this before? I have. He's just going to... got to play knight d6.
I will.
He wants to create an opportunity where he can win.
But he can't win because the king can always take on f4. Oh, well, actually, bishop
what
f4.
if he gets it with the bishop?
So knight takes, knight d6, f3, knight e4. Okay, so b5 now. c6. c6.
I was thinking that this
over.
game was only being played out because Magnus was all of a sudden remembering match strategy, but I think Magnus was playing it out because he still had chances to win. That's an example of how things can go.
Yeah,
that's an example of how things can go wrong when you play Magnus Carlsen. I mean, I thought that he might almost lose that game. That
so
was
now
insane.
It's a 4-game deficit with 7 minutes left.
Insane in the membrane.
As long as